How are we doing? Welcome to the Dealer to Healer podcast. I'm your host, Liam Brown. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for making it your first time, if this is your first time. We've got a beautiful, amazing, spectacular human on the show today. She is in LA, in Venice Beach, so the podcast is now international. Oh, actually, he was international in the last episode. Matt Ryan, he was in Venice Beach as well. They're almost neighbours. Hopefully they'll hook up for a coffee. Who knows? But yeah, sending lots of love to you guys over in Venice Beach, over in LA. So yeah, we are international podcast officially. That makes us we're ticking that box. Today's show is going to be beautiful. She's a self-love expert. She's so knowledgeable. She looks so alive and so vibrant. You just makes you go like, what are you drinking? What are you eating? Give me some. Like I want my face to look that kind of awake and alive. So yeah, check it out on YouTube if you want to see the vibe she's giving off. Go and have a look on YouTube. If not, just have a look at the show notes. Her website's on there. You can connect with her however you feel fit. Facebook, Instagram. She's got quite a big Instagram following. So yes, you will hear all about her and all about what she's up to. She's having an amazing life and an amazing career and basically just being the best version of herself, which is what this show's all about. If you haven't joined us before, Dealer to Healer podcast is all about transformation, all about stories of awakening, stories of metamorphosis, stories about people who've faced adversity or have come from like difficult surroundings, difficult upbringings to step into the light, to step into a more beautiful version of themselves, a healthier version, a more connected version spiritually, and on a path of love and light and happiness and trying to fill the world with such things, which is quite an epic thing really. So this is the Dealer to Healer podcast, and Dealer to Healer is also a book that I've written. It's on Amazon. Why should you go and read the book? Well, it's funny, it's mental. Everyone who's read it has said they've got so much from it. So people have basically said that the book is a healing in itself and a crazy adventure, and they can't believe some of the things that happened to me or some of the things that I was kind of up to. It's a little bit shocking in places, but this is just my life and this is my truth. Without all them things that have happened to me, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be doing this podcast. I wouldn't have written the book. So yeah, get yourself over to Amazon. You've got 5 days to get it for free on Kindle, on ebook. You can just go over there and press buy now with one click. And you don't have to give any money. It's completely free. It's completely for you for 5 days. All I ask is, please, if you get it for free, just write me a review. That'd be epic, and I'd be very happy. Put a smile on my face. You can even send me a picture on one of my social media outlets. Comment on the podcast, whatever you need to do. The Dealer to Healer book. It's on Amazon. It's available on Kindle, audiobook, print version. Obviously the print version is really nice because it's got a 3D cover, and if you've got any of those old 3D glasses, you can put them on and the cover will like jump out at you. It won't scare you, don't worry. It's not like a unicorn just appearing in your office and you're going, whoa, what, that was a unicorn, shit, it's a unicorn. And then you're like, I believe in unicorns. Imagine the people who didn't believe in unicorns, if a unicorn just turned up, or would their disbelief mean that it wouldn't turn up? Who knows? That's a conundrum inside of like a Russian doll who's trying to hide in a cupboard. Anyway, enough about cupboards and Russian dolls. Let's get on with our show. This lady is amazing. She's talented, she's beautiful, she's full of love, full of knowledge, super intelligent. So here we go. I'll hand you over to the interview. Hope you all enjoy it. Leave me a comment if you like it. If you've got any questions, give me a shout. Lots of love. Enjoy the conversation. Bless my soul. Hello there. This is the Dealer to Healer podcast. I'm your host, Liam Brown. We've got an amazing guest for you today. If you're on YouTube, you can see her smiling, her beautiful white teeth. She is a self-love expert, a life coach, an author, a motivational speaker. And her mission, which I think is one of the most beautiful things I've ever read, is to help a billion women fall madly in love with themselves. She's a yoga teacher, nutritional expert. Her name is Gina Swire, and she is here today. And thanks for joining us, Gina. How are you?
I am wonderful. That was such a great entry. I feel like I'm just walking onto stage in my high heel.
I perceive you to be like that anyway all the time. Whenever I meet you, like smiling, you're happy, and like you seem amazing. You're always giving out good energy. So yeah,
thank you.
Massive thank you for like being on my little podcast show is going to be exciting. I've been interviewing lots of cool people.
I just thought then, I wonder how you would have thought if you'd have met me like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
You know,
likewise.
Yeah.
But yeah, we met. How long have we known each other? Like 3 or 4 years?
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, so you never knew the messy me, and I never knew the messy you. So it's all right, isn't it? I can imagine.
Straight and narrow us.
So where are you? What have you got going on?
I am in LA at the minute, playing big town girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in Venice, LA, which is my new favorite place in the world. I just absolutely love it here. It's so cool. It's got the beach, the surf vibes. It's got the Bali vibes. It's got a lot of Bali people. So I live in Bali part of the year. And it's got all the consciousness. It's got the health food. It's got the sunshine.
Cool.
It's got the yoga. It's got it all.
So you're near Venice Beach?
Yeah, I'm at Venice Beach, just a couple of blocks away.
That's mental, because I had...
Near the Muscle Beach.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a real thing? I was interviewing Matt Ryan yesterday. Do you know Matt Ryan, the Mashtanga Yoga Manchester guy? He lives in Venice Beach as well. So you're like the second person I've interviewed in 2 days in Venice Beach. I'm like international podcaster now, aren't I?
Yeah, you are. Yeah. You know what? It's so good to hear a proper thick Manc accent.
Yeah. Well, that's what I saw you on that that TV thing, and I was like, how are they going to get across? But your Mancunian's not as like understandable as mine, is it? Like for
I'm from the posh bit.
I'll speak posh now. Should we do a little posh bit? But yeah, we're both Mancunian. You are a Mancunian though, aren't you? Yeah, pretty much. Cool. Yeah. So what have you got going on in LA? What you doing out there? Working?
Well, yes, I've been doing some TV, darling, and some red carpet action and some PR and some podcasts and stuff. But most of my business is online. So I do it from anywhere.
So is all this TV stuff you're doing, is it all stem from your coaching, from your career that you've got going on now? Yeah, it's all about being a self-love expert and sharing the self-love message. And also, I just decided a few months ago that I wanted to be on TV, and I put it on my vision board. This is bonkers, by the way. I think this is bonkers. So July the 12th, I'm in my house in Manchester, and I do what's called like a vision story. So I'll project forwards 3 months into the future, and then I'll write my journal as if it's that day 3 months on. Yeah. So I knew I was coming to LA. I didn't know what was going to happen, and I write down my journal, but best case scenario. So like loads of good things have happened. So I'm like, da 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 da, and I've met all these cool people, and we went on a road trip, and I got asked on a TV show, and I met all these amazing people, and I met the love of my life. Just kind of go through and have fun and do this fun thing. And then after it, I'll go through and pick bits out and put them on my vision board, because it's my vision. And so I did that, and I put on I'd never thought about being on a talk show before. And I put on my vision board, Good Morning La La Land, which is like a conscious TV program that they have here. I'd never even really heard of it, but I found a picture online, put it on there, on the old vision board. And 2 weeks later, I got a request to be on a TV program called Life Stories. And I was like, cool, it's happening. I'm being asked to be on a TV show. So I came to LA, did the thing. And when I arrived in the morning, guess what they were filming in the studio? The La La Land.
Good Morning La La Land.
Good morning.
And I was like, I'm in my vision board. I didn't contact them. I didn't ask to be on it. Absolutely nothing. Wow. But here I am in my vision board.
So did you then just like worm your way in a little bit?
No, I didn't even do that. I was just sat there smiling at myself, doing an Instagram story like, guys, you're never going to guess what. Yeah. And then one of the presenter guys who was on the picture on my vision board came over, and he's a bit of a sweet talker, very good looking. And he's like, oh, I don't think I know you. Like, tell me all about yourself and da da da. And he starts telling me a story about his vision board. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, well, while we're on the story of vision boards, I'm in my vision board. I get the vision board picture up. I'm like, look, and he's on my vision board. He's like, oh, I feel really privileged to be on your vision board. And he's like, we've got to get you on the show. How's next Friday at 8:40 in the morning? And I was just like,
shit, man.
Okay.
That is some powers, that, ain't it? That's some superpowers. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So that's how I roll.
That's incredible. You need to get a superhero costume for you, like a vision board spandex superhero
When you should
costume.
say that.
Let's check it out.
Joking.
All the good stuff was coming then.
Well, you did say there'd be nudity.
It's always got to be nudity. Yeah. No, that's so just for our listeners who don't have a fucking clue what a vision board is, what the hell's a vision board?
Okay. What is a vision board? Well, in old school terms, it's like a piece of cardboard where you get magazines and you cut and stick and create a collage of things that you want to have in your life. And the idea is that you put it up on your bedroom wall or wherever. And when you see it, it kind of goes into your subconscious. And then when these things, you automatically start to attract them into your life, which I know sounds a bit woo-woo, but there is science behind it. But the other thing is that when these things show up in your life, you know you want them. So the first part of making a vision board is getting clear of what you want. Because if you can't make it, if you don't know what you want, or you don't know what you're asking for. So once you've asked for it,
no, carry on.
My domain. So
once you've asked for it,
then you ask for it, and then you just get it. So you can do it in lots of different ways. You can get a box and just put things into your box that you want. So it could be a new car. And when I first started doing this nearly 10 years ago, it would be, an Audi TT, a new wardrobe, like £1,000 worth of clothes from All Saints or whatever. Yeah. But now it's things like, I want true happiness and children. So different things, but you can have whatever you want. And the amount of things I've manifested, like one day I'm in Australia, and I thought, I want to see a whale. I put on my vision board that morning, I saw a whale in the wild and a picture of a whale. And that day I saw 4 freaking whales. Amazing. What are the odds? I've been there 2 months and not seen any.
So where did you get into vision? Like, obviously I've seen things like The Secret, and there's a lot of stuff talking about manifesting your thoughts becoming your reality, what you focus your attention on. Was it from stuff like that, or did you do a specific workshop that was on vision boarding, or did you just start doing it yourself?
Yeah, my best friend gave me this book called Asking It Is Given.
Yeah.
Pivotal book in my life. Such a great book. I recommend it to everyone.
Asking It Is Given.
Ask and it is given. And it basically just teaches you to ask for what the hell you want, and you get it. Awesome. And you do. Everywhere I go, I just ask for what I want, and people just fall to give me. They can't wait to give me what I want. It's brilliant. Yeah. And my friends are always like, how are you doing this? And then I just ask.
Yeah, my friends say it about me, and I don't even do it to your level, but they're like, it was always for years, it was like, you're a stuffy bastard. Now they're like, well, you're not, because it happens to you all the time, so it can't be. Look, and like what I feel is if I'm nice to people and I'm putting out good energy as much as possible, stuff is going to come back to me. Like, I'm not as organized as you. Like, not a lot of men are that organised. Probably not, because I don't get my stuff out and go, right, I'm going to manifest this today, because I don't know what's going on in my head half the time. Like, just like poems are coming in and shit's thinking about stuff. But like, to get that focus is difficult for me. Do you know what I mean? And I do yoga and I meditate, and it helps. But it's not a natural thing for me to focus and to be organised. Like this writing of the book thing for me has been really difficult. I've actually sat myself down and gone, right, I was in France. I was thinking about what I wanted, like you were saying, and I was like, I've had this book sat there for 4 years. I've not done anything about it. I've been thinking, someone will turn up and just turn it into a bestseller. Do you know what I mean? And it'll get published. Yeah. And then I was like, actually, I just need to take ownership of this book, of this beast, and do it. And then as soon as I started researching, it was like ping, 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 ping. Everything just went, you can self-publish, and it can be very more beneficial to you financially, like market-wise, exposure-wise. So it was just like, sometimes it's just when the time's right, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah. It's just alignment. I totally get you on the 4-year writing the book thing. It's hard. Writing a book is the hardest thing I've probably ever done.
Yeah, but then it's like once you've written it as well, though, there's so many things that you have to do, and like your cover, you're getting it edited, you're getting it proofread. You don't just put something shit out. Like, man, if it wasn't for like, spell checker and stuff, I couldn't write a book because I'm so dyslexic. Same. I just like put everything down. So it's like I guess if we were both born, if you're dyslexic as well, if we were both born at any other stage in humanity, we would not be writing books, you know what I mean? And that's what a massive, like I saw you saying about when you were at school and you were like, never thought you'd ever could write a book. And I never thought I could ever write a book because I was shit at English. But that doesn't mean you're not a poet or you can't have good.
No, we're geniuses.
Head. Yeah. Dyslexic people, we got special powers.
Yeah, we do. My wordsmithery, which is a new word that I made up, is second to none. Other people's minds work differently. So sometimes I'll just come out with these like genius word combinations and people are just like, wow, you're a wordsmith. And I'm like, yeah. Never thought that at school, did they?
Gotta show them. Yeah. Gotta show them English teachers. So, it's basically the Gina Swire life coaching thing is like the main thing now. That's what's going on. Yeah. Well,
it's this self-love message, it's helping. I mostly work with women, a few guys, but mostly women.
Yeah.
And it's this, I've just somehow managed to stumble across, I mean, that is a total understatement, but I went through like the biggest quarter life crisis of my life, and I just took away all my vices, which I know you know about that as well. Take all your vices away, crumble on your lounge floor, beg for a sign, get them, and the sign is self-love, and then follow the steps and the guidance that you're getting from wherever, you don't even know where, and then people start wanting to learn from you. That's what happened to me. People saw how much I changed from being this plus size model party girl, debaucherous, fun time Frankie, never in my apartment. I used to live in New York. I'd be out 24/7 or asleep. That was it, and just, I was the life and soul of the party, but I had no life and soul within me. It was all on the outside. And everyone thought I was doing so well in my life, and I was in some ways. Smashing it at modeling, flying all around the world, every designer piece of clothing you could imagine, and all these cool friends, but just dying a slow death inside.
That's what I mean. The heart was not being like, the soul wasn't being satisfied. Like the expectations of what society thinks you should want, you were smashing, but it wasn't enriching you.
Oh, I felt so poor. So poor.
But that's what I think is so fascinating about you, is that you were smashing it at that industry, in that world, and you've come and you've changed your life around, and you've not just like carried on like, it's okay, I'm happy now, you've smashed this as well, to go and help, to have this mission to help 1 billion women find, what is it again, what's the thing, what's your tagline? Find self-love. Yeah. So to help 1 billion women do that, like that's massive. And I was like, is there 1 billion? Yeah, of course it's 1 billion women. Like, and that's possible. You could touch that many people, and that's what I am so impressed by you as a person, is you just smashed it out of the park with this as well. So hats off to you.
Thank you. I'm receiving that. I'm receiving it. Thank you. Yeah. So when that all happened, and once I'd made the shift from that to, the pendulum swung from party girl, crazy, all the things, to a monk, basically, quit everything that I could possibly quit in my entire life, went vegan, turned into like a 24-hour yogi, wouldn't eat anything that wasn't sprouted for a time, and just very intense and very restrictive. And I went celibate. I wouldn't even look at a guy. I wouldn't even look at a guy in the eyes that wasn't in my family for a big period of time. And after that period, I'd made this big change. And the change that happened was that I realized, in this big epiphany where I'd been crying on the floor, just like, I don't know what to do. Give me a sign. And then I just got this sign, this feeling, this sense of just like, Gina, you don't need to change anything. That was it. Like, you just don't need to change. You just whole as you are. You know, you don't need to be more. You don't need to be prettier. Because I always used to think if I was better looking, then I'd get love.
Yeah.
Which is bonkers, because like I would spend hours having everything perfection and I wasn't getting any more love. It was getting more and more further away. And it's cringeworthy to think now, looking back, that I thought I was going to meet a man, he was going to give me love and I was going to get love and we were going to have love, and then that's how you love.
Yeah.
Like, I just had no concept of that. I'm like a self-sourcing pudding, and I could just fuel myself with chocolate ganache like a melt in the middle chocolate pudding does. And it's bonkers to think back to that time. But once I made that realization, oh my God, it was away.
So was that realization kind of like a lot of spiritual teachers talk about the art of remembering? It's like we cover ourselves up with all this shit, and then eventually it's like, oh, help me. And it's like, no, I've just got to remember who I truly am in my heart, like what I've always been, that I'm a, you know, and eradicating all that toxic shit. Was that more what it was?
Exactly, yeah. Just stripping it all back. Just stripping it all back and really feeling for the first time, because I'd been numbing myself for so many years that I always just felt good. I never felt like really bad or really good. I was just always good. That was it. I didn't feel anything. So when I started to feel, that was really painful for a time. And really, I felt so lonely and so unchosen and so just like, And then, just came out the other side of it once I'd learned to feel and just surrender to it. So when that happened, I lost 2 dress sizes of weight in 2 weeks. It just literally like, and I'd been a plus size model for like 15 years, and it just, all this weight just dropped off me like in a matter of weeks. And everyone was like, wow, something really bonkers is happening with you. And I was like, yeah, it's just like emotional weight. It's all this protection. I've been protecting myself for all these years against I don't know what, but
didn't you have like the reverse thing that a lot of models have? You were like being encouraged to put weight on. So was that a big part of it as well? You were like making those people who were asking you to put weight on happy?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was a big part of it, because every job they'd be like, oh, you know, they really love you, but I think they're going to go for a bigger girl, you know. And I'd be like, oh, I
need some cake,
you know. And I lived in a weird parallel universe, because I came from like a house. Well, I came from a house.
You came from a house.
I came from house. But my mum would be on a diet every Monday on Weight Watchers, and I'd be on a diet with her.
Yeah.
And by Wednesday, Thursday, she was definitely off the diet. So was I. And you know, I always wanted to lose weight. It was all about losing weight. Like Posh Spice was my freaking role model at that point. Her hips are about this big. And it was the trend to be that skinny situation then. Thank God for Beyonce. Like, it's changing a bit now. But like I was living in that world. But then in my work life, they were like, yeah, if you were just a bit bigger, you'd probably earn like another 20K this month. And I'm just like, what do? I don't want to be this big fat thing. I want to be slim, but then you want to pay me for this.
Yeah.
So it was weird. Very weird. So when I quit that, oh my God, I just felt so empowered.
That's amazing. Like it just fell off you like that. It was kind of like the universe just saying, yeah, come on, we've been waiting.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of it now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was super scary though, because my identity was built around being this big girl, my job, my career, all my fans, you know, it's all about that. And it just dropped off me, and it was incredibly scary, and nobody understood at all, because all my friends were trying to lose weight. So I'd be like, I'm losing all this weight. What do I do? And they're like, you lost weight. We're all trying to do that. What's your problem?
Yeah.
I'm like,
So was this at the exact time when you decided I'm done with that now? when you decided I'm done, that's when that happened. So then tell us how you went from that to where you are now. What was your progression? Because this podcast is like, we're looking at, you know, transformation. We're looking at spiritual awakening, stories of awakening, like
metamorphosis.
Metamorphosis, like, you know, going from the caterpillar into the butterfly, like spreading your wings, becoming your true self. And well, the main thing is just becoming the best version of yourself, because that's good for you and it's good for everyone around you and it's good for the whole fucking world, isn't it? So
the planet, the animals,
what we want. Yes,
it is.
So yeah, just like give us a little brief kind of, you know, you went to India, just kind of from that point, what happened?
Okay, I realized that I hadn't been using my intuition. I've always been very intuitive, but I'd been cheating on myself for years. You know, I'd been doing all these things that other people wanted me to do. And when I stopped cheating on myself and I started listening to what my body wanted, what I actually want, like what my soul was screaming for, it just was so much easier. And I was like, oh yeah, I can just give myself what I want, and that makes me feel good, which I believe what self-love is. Just give yourself more of what you like and do more of what you like, and you love yourself more from it. So I'd been in England for a while. I had been on this healing path. I'd been on the floor a lot. I'd had a lot of revelations. My body was feeling much healthier. I was less toxic. And I did what all people on a mission like this do, is go to India. And off I went to India, just like really, really called to go. I never had been before, but all of a sudden everywhere I was looking was India. You know, I even buy something from a shop, turn it over and it's India. Or like, just everything. So I go off there to do a yoga teacher training or two. And I just felt really, really good when I was there. Obviously doing like 1 million hours of yoga a day, meditating every day, having like out of body experiences, meeting all these cool people that were just really like-minded. And I remember being on the beach in Goa and just sitting there as the sun's going down and just being like, wow, I've made it. Just made it. I'm here. I'm right here, right now. And I felt so alive and so good. And I just thought, God, what a transformation in such a short amount of time. Well, it's like nearly a year, but I thought it was going to take decades to feel good, or if at all.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I remember just thinking, I don't need anything. I don't need anything on the outside. I've just got it all already inside of me. And it was such a big like relief. And it was only about 2 weeks after that I met my about to be like love for the first time. I fell in love for the first time in India. And it was just like such a journey, just like this amazing journey. I'd wanted love for so long. I finally found it within myself. And it was 2 weeks after that I fell in love with someone else, which I think it couldn't have happened if I hadn't have found that inside of me.
Yeah.
So then I started coaching people on health and yoga. I was teaching yoga. I was coaching people on health.
Because you did a nutrition course, right? And was that?
I did that.
Was that as you were kind of changing?
Yeah, I did that right just before I quit modeling. I was just like, I just need something to get me through. And if I felt healthier, I think that would do it. But actually what happened was the course that I signed up to, I didn't research it. I just like went hell for leather, booked it, paid all this money. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do a nutrition course. And when I like showed up, it was like a health coach course where they teach you how to coach people. And I was like the busiest I'd ever been in my career. I was flying around all over the place, like doing the model thing, had no time for anything. I was very time poor. And then all of a sudden I've enrolled on this year-long course that I thought was going to help me get healthy. And it's about helping others.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, what an idiot. But little did I know it was the best divine intervention ever, because it led me to my path. That's kind of what I do now.
Yeah.
So started health coaching
built
people.
Everything from that is like your foundation.
Yeah, I started just doing it like as a little hobby, because I realized like how far I'd come. And when I helped other people, it felt really good, and everyone wanted me to help them. And everyone saw how quickly I transformed my body, the way I looked. I went from like dead behind the eyes to like, oh, I'm alive, just with nothing. Like basically like just breath was fueling me and like orgasmic. And so, yeah, I just changed so much. Everyone was magnetized to me. So I started coaching them, and very, very quickly I realized that most people just wanted the magic pill, the quick fix. They just wanted like to be told what they were to eat and told what to exercise. And they wanted to know about the macros and the micros or whatever. And I was just like, dude, this is not it. This is not it. What is it is getting on your bedroom floor, begging for a sign from the universe and listening to the divine. Like that's it. And so I quickly realized that it was only the ones who had an interest in self-love and basically the divine that would make any kind of transformation. And so I just switched my entire message into that. And as soon as I did that, that's when my business just went boom. The universe was like, here you go. Here's everything you could possibly ever need to make this massive. Yeah. And so
And that's what, like, for me, like, just observing you from afar, like, you know, I remember meeting you, and you were like in that sparkly stage, and it's just the fact that how far along you are now, like how professional your website is, how professional everything you do is. Like, I'm just like, what? Like, you didn't, you know, when you was in Manchester and we met, you didn't have any of that stuff going on. Yeah, you were doing a little bit of coaching, I think, and a bit of nutritional stuff, and now you're on fucking tally in America. Do you know what I mean? It's like, Jesus, that's like, yeah, killed it.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Do you remember when we met?
I do remember when we met. Do you remember what you said to me when we met?
Was it that you were my new best friend?
You stood up and you were just like in my face all of a sudden. You were like, we're in some circle, like some meditation circle. And then I get up with my mate, and then Gina stands up and she's like right in my personal space straight away as she gets up, and she goes, hi, I think you're going to be my new best friend. I was like, yeah, all right, why not?
Oh, how cute is that?
It was lovely, yeah. It was lovely. No, it was good to be new best friends for a little while, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know, yeah, it was. Oh, and then I booked off to India.
Yeah, you pretty much did one straight away. So
about a week after that, yeah.
Oh man, it's not stopped raining here. It's just like, I'm like, what am I still doing here? I need to get away. I need to leave again soon.
I'm just looking out the window to the blue sky and the beach. It's sunny every day. It's a Manx dream here.
Oh, yeah. I need to be somewhere where I can surf and stuff. Like, yeah, we'll see what happens, where I end up. I'm just I've got to be in Manchester for a little bit, and then I'll do one again. One of your programs is, what's it called? The 12 steps to...
12 steps self-love transformation.
12 steps self-love transformation. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a step-by-step course. So when I started coaching people, I realized that not everyone's like me and you, by the sounds of things, where we just dump all our information down and just make sense of it somehow. People like to have a structure. And so I worked on this thing, 12 steps, which wasn't actually to do with like AA meetings where they give you the 12 steps thing. It wasn't actually about that, but it is. That's the name. And so it's all these different concepts that are the steps. So if people follow this step by step, they start to change very, very fast. So first of all, it's about going into everything we hold on ourselves, like all the things we can't forgive ourselves for or can't forgive people for, all the stories that we tell ourselves over and over again, like basically that we're not good enough, or we're never going to be able to do this or whatever, all the limiting beliefs. And we get really, really clear of all of that, and basically everything in the past that's kept you from having the results you want. And then we go into the future and create vision. So this is what I was talking about at the beginning, vision board and vision stories, and get really clear of how people want to feel. And so, and what they want to draw into their life. And so usually when I start working with people, they're like, well, if I knew that, I'd be doing it. So I have all these different processes in the steps that help people to get really clear of what they actually want. So once we've got those, the past, the future, we start then to integrate it all together. And there's lots of other mini steps as well. But once we've got those two things, it is incredible how fast people start seeing what they want in their life. They start getting different results, and this empowerment just starts to flow. It's like a magical process, and I'm just part of it. You know, they have to really want it. You have to invest their time and their money, some money as well. And this combination of having all the resources, having the support from me, seeing other role models, people in my community who've done it already, and just, if they believe they can do it, I know they can do it. It's just this magical process that takes place.
Yeah. And is that program, is that just for women, or have you got blokes on that as well? Men can
buy that program if they want it. It's set up, everything I do is set up for women. And the reason for that is because, well, I'm a woman.
Really?
Yeah. And
listeners, just to make sure you know, Gina Swire is a woman, has always been a woman, but probably will always be a woman. You never know, though.
Could have had a penis in a past life.
Well, you probably have had a penis in a past life, but what we're wanting to know as listeners is, what are the percentage chances that you will have a penis in this life?
Slim. Oh wait, hold on.
A really slim one.
No slim penises.
No, you can never say never. Who knows? Like, I guess what's that Kardashian, their dad mum thing, whatever he's called. You know, probably if you would have asked him 30 years ago, he might have probably said he wouldn't have his penis off. Maybe. Anyway, where were we? Sorry, where were we? Oh my God. I had a really interesting question to ask you then as well. So yeah, the 12 steps, you can have men on it, but you mainly focus, so it, obviously because you're a woman, but is it just because we're trying to empower women like globally more so, when we're stepping into this age of the feminine, we're in the age of Aquarius, you know? Is that part of it? There's that.
And also because what I've found is that when women come together in these circles, they share really openly and they listen to each other and they have a transformation because of it. If there's even one man on the premises, like even in my Bali retreat, we have the chef who's a man, and he stays up in this other house where he does all the food. But if he comes down, the energy and the type of sharing completely shifts, even if he's not in the circle.
Yeah.
That's what I've observed. So I think at first with women, it's good to do this personal work. I really heavily believe in integrating it as well, then coming together with men, of course, you know, creation.
Yeah.
But at first, I think it's really good to do.
So you think it's kind of like a safer environment for them to explore themselves further and to actually let themselves go with the work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So is it like, obviously, you've just talked about it as a 12-step program, and some of what you've said about the beginning bit is very similar to the 12-step program, you know, doing an inventory about your behavior, about taking responsibility for, you know, beef you've got with people, and going, actually, there's a big part of me that's responsible for that as well. Not just, that he's done that, you know what I mean? We've all got it. We've manifest a lot of stuff that's in our life, even though it's bad, and we blame everyone else, but part of us has manifested it. So is in your 12-step program, like in the AA, CA, NA, like you're talking about the divine, are people having to surrender to the divine early on in your work in these programs?
I'm definitely inviting them to form a belief with something bigger than them. Yeah, whatever that is for them.
Yeah,
for sure. Because honestly, well, I don't think I could have done it on my own without that belief.
Yeah.
Do you?
No, totally. Like that was the major thing that changed me. I remember like my first, I'm not sure if it was a CA meeting or an NA meeting, and it was like, I didn't have a problem with drugs. Well, I did have a problem with drugs and alcohol, but it wasn't like a major issue. I ended up at these meetings for something legal, which you'll read about it in my book. It's all in my book, guys.
Read all about it.
I'm not like afraid of talking about it, but this is Gina's show. But there was this. They do the Serenity Prayer at the end, don't they? And I was like, there was all these proper London geezers, gangsters, and just stuff. And I was like, they're all blokes. And then they started doing this God shit. And I was like, what? Like, then I thought it was a cult. But then this mixed race guy had like gold teeth. He come up to me and he was like, bruv, he said, do you know that God shit? He said, I see in your face how it went when they started talking. He said, I did exactly the same thing you went. But like you just said, he said, it can mean whatever you want it to mean. It can mean the universe. It can mean when you look up at the stars, like to know that there's something bigger than you. And just the way he broke it down, and the fact that he was like, like a lot of my mates in Wythenshawe and in South Manchester, he was a geezer, you know what I mean? And if it would have been coming from some tie-dyed hippie, I would have just been like, dickhead. Do you know what I mean? But it was because he felt real and gritty, and I was just like, okay. And then the God thing started to just fall into place. When I was surrendering to God on my knees every morning, I was having better days and everything was sweet. And when I wasn't, and I was just like experimenting with it, because I thought I was like, this isn't right. This is bullshit. Like, there's no God. Do you know what I mean? And then it just eventually fell in. And now it's now even just to mention God, like, it turns people, doesn't it? You can see people's faces sometimes when you say God. But if you say the divine, or it's that uncomfortable. Like, but if you're in India, it's like God is just, everyone says God. You know what I mean? It's like you own it. So yeah, it's very interesting how we can, like, it's a big barrier to overcome, isn't it? And I guess it's probably as for your students as well.
For sure, yeah. So that's it. I mean, it's in the introduction of my book. Is it in yours as well? I'm like, sometimes I refer to the universe or the God or the divine or your future self or your higher self. Just take whatever you want from that. This is how I see it, kind of thing. Yeah. So I don't lose all the readers.
You've got to give people
page one,
haven't you? But like when I first kind of got into the awakening thing, I thought I had to become really straight and like really, and I had gone a bit cosmic at some point where I kind of lost myself, and I didn't think I was allowed to be funny anymore, or like, have a laugh.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I've got to take things, got to be serious. Like, there's nothing funny anymore. And it's like, Jesus, man, go and see monks. Like, they have the best time, don't they? They're always pissing about, like, doing practical jokes. So I think you just have to go through that process, don't you? You
have to strip it back to nothing and then add your personality back in.
Yeah,
steadily.
Just let him come back in a little bit. Jesus, football's coming to mind since I've come back to Manchester as well. It's like become an obsession.
Oh, really?
Not an obsession. Not an obsession. But like, I'm just like, it's just, I can't be in Manchester and not watch football. It's weird. It's weird when I go away. I'm like, can let go of it a little bit. So
you know what? Do you know what the first Burning Man I went to, having been like very in that rigid phase, very vegan, very rigid, very teetotal, which by the way, no one knows in America what teetotal means.
Do they not?
No, I'm like,
what do they call
it? Sober.
Okay.
But what does teetotal mean? Tea. Why?
I don't know.
We're not drinking tea, are we?
We should work that out. I'll have to research that, where that comes from.
Yeah, so teetotal, or quit everything, quit my all comedy gone, and I go to Burning Man. I'm just like a rigid ass yogi.
Yeah,
very flexible. Anyway, I go to Burning Man, and on one of the first days, I'm with this crew, and it's so fun, and everyone's a bit like, we're gonna have some drinks and all the things, and I was just like, and then I went in, and I met this guy. I knew this guy there who's a shaman, and we'd had many conversations in the past about being now on this path. It's the serious path and the spiritual path. And I bumped into him, and I'd just been drinking, and and I was like, oh no, I was feeling so guilty and shameful because we'd had all these conversations about how that's in the past now. And then I bump into him and he whispers to me, he's like, oh, Gina, I have to tell you something. I've just had like a few drinks and, you know, this and a bit of this and a bit of that. I've not had any in like 5 years. And I was like, me too, good timing. So we go and have this epic night and we're in the desert, like just loving our lives.
Yeah, yeah.
And we sit down, I guide everyone through some pranayama on the desert. And after it, we're all just like, this is so good, because in the back in the day, when you were numbing yourself, it was good, but it wasn't actually really good. It was like empty good. Whereas now life is great, you feel good, and now you can also emphasize the good with some things. And so we came up with this term, which is, it's all medicine. Like whatever you do consciously, it's all medicine. Well, it was actually, it's all medicine, man. It's all medicine, man. It's whatever you do consciously, it's all medicine. Yeah. So now I always think of that whenever I'm doing something that isn't, you know, traditionally good for you. I'm like, no, it's all medicine. I'm choosing this for a reason.
Yeah. And I went, you know, Stu Pilkinson, don't you? I did a podcast with Stu the other day, and then I went to one of his Tantra breath workshops on Saturday, and, you know, he was just talking about like, you can do, everything's okay, you know, as long as you've got a control over it. You know, it's not saying don't ever do this. We should be trying everything in life. Like, you know, the fruits are all there for us. But for me, it was just like, I needed that 3 years off everything to now come back into it, where I can go out and go, yeah, I do fancy having a drink, or actually I don't feel there's any pressure. Like, you know, people, I used to always feel that there was this pressure. Oh, why are you not drinking? Why are you not doing this? And it's like, now once you've got full ownership of it and full control of it, you can choose when you want. You know, I had four drinks the other night, and I was just like, felt a bit shit the day after. I was like, you know, kind of puts me off doing it again. And I only had like 4 beers, and just like my body.
Because you're so pure.
So pure.
So pure.
But it is, you know, it's just like, it's fine now and again. It's just about controlling it and not letting it take over your life again, I think. It's just great thing. And we all want great skin, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Your skin looks fabulous.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Recently, I realized I've been throwing myself into so many uncomfortable situations. You know, like different medicine things, going to Burning Man again, which every year I like look at the lens through my rose-colored glasses, and I'm like, Burning Man, magical place of transformation. And you get there and you're like, oh shit, this place is triggering as hell. It's dusty as fuck. It's like so massive and so hot and so like, I was just so triggered this whole week at Burning Man, and I was like, I think I'm having fun. Here I am. I am having fun. It is good. And I'm like, is this fun? Why am I here? Why am I doing this again?
Yeah.
And you know, it's after that you get the transformation. But I just realized, like, I'm just throwing myself head first into all of these things and like pushing every comfort zone. And comfort zones I didn't even know I had these edges that I've now pushed past. And I'm like, why am I doing this? You know, all these other people who just kind of live in the comfort of Netflix and chills. You know, I was just thinking about that, and I was like, why am I doing that? But that's life, isn't it? Trying new things and just going for it, being expansive.
Yeah, totally. But then, like, what I've found as well is like, sometimes it's good to just like disappear for a little bit, be a bit reclusive, watch some films, you know what I mean? Not like, since I've come back to Manchester, I've hardly seen anybody. I've just been in my office working on this thing, and like, I'm happy. It's cool, you know. But, and like, sometimes when we're traveling around all the time, I've always felt that I'm observing other people living. When I'm not living, I'm just there to like experience it. You know what I mean? And I know that it's still living, but it's not like a day-to-day thing with where I am and where my little plot is, my little kind of comfort zone. And how do you get on with that? Because you kind of like bouncing from LA to Bali to the UK. How's that?
Yeah.
How's that work?
Well, I'm a slow mad.
Yeah.
I made that word up with my wordsmithery. I'm a slow mad. So, did you like that one?
Got to tell me mates at football, that one.
Yeah, tell them. So yeah, I do like 3 months here, 3 months there. 3 months in England over the summer when the sun shines, hopefully. 3 months in LA, 3 months in Bali-ish, and then a bit of time traveling. Yeah. So that's been my flow. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like when I was traveling more, or if I've got retreats and I'm here, there and everywhere, it really does uproot you. And of course you're living out of one bag and you're not with your friends and you need to find your yoga studio or whatever you're doing. So yeah, just traveling slow is much better. But actually I'm going to be living in LA more and just doing trips to Bali.
Right. Okay. So is this the first time you've like lived in LA for a sustained period of time, or?
No, I've done it this is the 3rd year I've done it around Burning Man. Yeah.
Awesome. So you go to Burning Man and then you stay for another 3 months in LA. And was this the first time where you was like, have you always been working out of there and expanding your business in LA, or is everything you do mainly online? Does it not matter really where you are? Yeah,
it's mostly online. Yeah. But LA is great because energy wise, it's so, everyone's just killing it here. They have to be. So, it's just awesome to be around so many people that are at the top of the game. It's like all the pioneers. Yeah. So I love that. Bali's awesome as well for growing a business, because Bali, although it's like a slow pace, it has like a really good entrepreneur scene. It has co-working spaces and good energy to build a business, to like build a fledgling business to like a middle of the road business. But then it's kind of a bit like a glass ceiling there.
Yeah. Yeah, because what's it called? Like, because there's a lot of people in Bali who are doing the sort of, working remotely, but hasn't it got like a kind of counterculture name? What's it called? Someone was telling me about it. It's like,
not sure.
What was the word you just used a minute ago?
Slow mad, like a digital nomad.
Like a digital nomad, that's it. Yeah, digital nomad. There's like these digital nomad communities there.
Yeah.
And you kind of hot desk and stuff. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what I was doing. That's what I've been doing the last 3 years. And it's great because everyone's doing it, because you can't really work in Bali without getting a really hard to get KITAS permit thing. So everyone works remotely, which is great, because then it's this big crew of people. They're all soul-centered. They're all eco-friendly. They're all doing good things for people, wanting to share the message. And it's good energy to be in. Yeah. And it's super cheap to live there. Yeah, you can live like a queen.
Yeah. When I was in Canggu, it was kind of like Shoreditch with even more beautiful people with surfboards and lots of cool vegan fast food place is epic there. Don't know what it was called. Yeah. It's just like a kind of
Shady Shack.
Yeah, it might have been that. Yeah, it was incredible.
I think I said that to you, didn't I? It's like Shoreditch meets Home and Away.
Yeah, it's pretty much spot on. But yeah, that like you said about the kind of trying to get permits to teach, because I thought I'd just be able to go there and teach yoga like you can in kind of most Asian countries, and you're like, no, it's different here.
No.
What I found funny as well, like when I was doing my research before, I was like looking at your pictures and stuff from Burning Man. Like the very next thing was you on that La La Land morning TV show where you look like someone from the Stepford Wives. Well, everybody looked like someone from the Stepford Wives, didn't they? It was like just this colour palette, this kind of cream colour palette. And I'm like, she just had braids and paint all over her face and glitter, and now she looks like this, kind of butter wouldn't melt in her mouth.
That was a quick turnaround. I had to whip those braids out, have a good scrub, get the old curlers in.
Brilliant. So what's
I'm a chameleon.
What's next in LA for you?
What's next is on Saturday I'm speaking at an event in New York, which is like 100 women all kind of around business, but I'm talking about self-love, so that'll be exciting.
Cool.
And then I've just launched my new course, so I'm in the launch at the minute, which has been amazing.
Sell me your course. Well, don't sell it me because I've got Willie, but sell it to my female listeners.
So it's the 12-step self-love transformation, just like I was speaking about before, step-by-step guide. Just basically, it's the course that I really could have done with a few years ago myself, but it wasn't anything like that. It's quite fun as well. Like, there's a lot of joke cracking in the videos. It's not like super serious, but it is very deep. So it comes with videos and workbooks and loads of bonuses, and it's in a community. So there's a Facebook community with it, which is the best thing about it.
Cool. Okay. So go, if you want to get on the self-love program, get over to GinaSwire.com. There will be another one on next year. The one that was on this year has just been and gone. So you've missed that one, but there's always another opportunity to do it. And there will definitely be one in 2020, won't there, babe?
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Boom. And then
it'll
what?
Be on my website.
Then what?
And then my book's coming out.
When's that? What's the date? What's the launch?
I haven't got the date yet.
Okay.
I'm a step behind you because I'm publishing with a publisher, so I don't have my actual date yet.
Yeah.
But cool. It's mega exciting.
But it will definitely be next year.
Yeah, it'll be early next year.
And retreats. You're at self-love retreats?
Retreats, yeah. The next one is January the 2nd to the 5th in England. It's the first weekend of the year. So if you want a really, really good start to the year, that's the one. I did a retreat there last year, and of all my retreats, Bali, Ibiza, different ones around the world, that was my favorite one in Yorkshire in England. It was amazing. The place is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just so much history, so cool. It has this, it looks like a spaceship's landed in the land of this epic, like, old stately home. Yeah. And it's called Avalon. But basically these amazing aristocrat family that now own it, that have owned it for 9,000 years, the current owner is like a conscious guy.
Right.
And he's changed it all to renewable fuel. It's like all ran on solar energy. It's got this thing in the garden called Avalon, which has all these ultraviolet shavasana pods. It has this meditation chamber. They do sweat lodges there. It's like epic, and it's super luxury.
Oh, amazing.
You should check it out.
Can anyone just go there, like, for a weekend or something, or do you have to go to a specific retreat there? Is it just rented out? I think you can go to the Avalon place and have like treatments or do yoga, and they do ecstatic dance there. Cool. I think you could. Yeah, there's some like holiday cottages on the land that you can rent as well. But the retreat, it's just amazing. So I'll have to check it out. And what date's that? 2nd to the 5th of January. So, ladies. And it's totally not just like come along, do some yoga, have some baths and eat some food. It's like, it's a full-on transformation. So it's only for people who are like fully ready to immerse themselves. Awesome. So if any of you ladies out there want to make an epic, amazing start to 2020, then get yourself booked on that. That sounds pretty magnificent and quite luxurious. You've just sold it really well. And then what else have we got in 2012? Then, 2020, I will be, I don't know. There's so many things in the pipeline, but it's not fully like nailed in yet. I'm like, shall I just say it anyway and it manifest, or shall I just keep quiet? Well, wait. Here's a better question for you. What's on the vision board for 2020? Okay, on the vision board. Well, the book being a bestseller, of course. There's definitely some relationship things on the vision board. Yeah. This year's been very much around work and expansion and the book and, just getting my business, getting the message out to the billion women. Yeah. Next year's more, let's make some babies. Let's make some babies. Well, she wasn't saying that to me, guys. She wasn't saying that to me. It wasn't a proposition. Trying to manifest babies into her life. But I think it is something that I would like to experience in this lifetime. Creating consciousness. That to me seems like a really good thing to experience. But creating consciousness in a conscious like environment, like just being able to give something a start that I didn't have, you know what I mean? Like, of just like, and maybe it's, I want to get myself in a space where I feel like, yeah, I am a really good male role model. I don't think I'm 100% there yet, but these elements of people that I grew up with that were positive, but I never had any positive male role models around me when I was a kid. You know, it was all, I was brought up in a racist, xenophobic, homophobic, sexist environment mainly. And, you know, until I went to London, I didn't realize that the way I thought about things and the things that I said were even wrong. Like, I was just like, oh, I'm not allowed to say that. And I'm just like, shit, I was brought up in an environment where that was acceptable, and I don't think that's acceptable, you know.
So unkind, I know. Yeah, but that's it's like, unfair, it just shows how much our generation are changing the world. Like, we literally are. You only have to look around, see how many vegan restaurants and how many, like, you know, non-alcohol raves there are. And on the beach here in Venice, they do this Monday night ecstatic silent rave on the beach at sunset, you know, and it's packed. It's so many people. And if even 10 years ago, like, that wasn't a thing. Maybe it was all happening in Venice and we just didn't know about it.
Well, it was more so in LA, like in parts of LA and parts of Australia, like the hippie movement, because it was so big there in them areas that it kind of still had that kind of your old hippie thing, and it kind of died out in their generation. But then now they kind of like when I was in Guatemala working with the cacao shaman called Keith, and he was saying like that hippie movement in the 60s.
Oh, Keith.
Do you know Keith?
I thought you were going to say like, you know, some
Guatemalan name. Yeah. No, Keith. Keith. He's American actually, but he's called the cacao shaman, and he's epic. But he was saying, you know, the movement in the 60s that happened, that got kind of really pushed down by the governments, didn't it? They didn't want it to happen because it was changing the whole fabric of like society. So they kind of suppressed it and illegalized everything, made everything illegal. And he said, like, mine and your generation, we're like this second wave coming through, and the third wave are kind of nurturing us, and they're like, you know, guides. And then these crystal children that are coming through from like 2008, we've got to nurture them, and they're going to have more superpowers than us. They're going to like smash it out of the park. Like, to see consciousness in children now, you know, people like 8 and stuff, they were going, what, you want me to eat an animal? What? What? You know, it's incredible. It's just incredible that these kids are making them choices for themselves. So yeah, we are moving in this really positive direction. Like, I was in London like at the start of the year, and it was just like the pubs, it was whole vegan pubs. I was like, what? It's just exploded. And it, you know, people are like, oh, it's a fad, you know, it's trendy. And I think that's bullshit. I think it's a real consciousness shift in society, personally. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
Safe.
And it's still going to be growing. Yeah. Like, what happened with you? Another thing you smashed it out of the park with. You had a little article. Like, she needs to stop smashing out of the park. You were in Vogue, weren't you? You had a little article in Vogue, and you had one in Elephant Journal. How did that all come about? What was that for?
The Vogue one, that was a couple of years ago, actually. So someone just contacted me, who I sort of half knew from the modeling world, but she wanted to do a feature on how like self-love and nutrition and how that is affecting women these days. And I was like, I'll do that. That's great. I did an interview in it, and it was in Vogue, and I was like, sweet. Good. Yeah. And then the Elephant Journal one, I just wrote an article and submitted it to them, and it was like how to manifest self-love when you feel crummy. And I just wrote this article similar to other stuff I wrote, submitted it to them, and it ended up getting like editor's pick. It got the most shares that month, and I got paid for it.
Sweet.
I know. Amazing. You don't normally get paid for writing those kind of things, but it
cool.
got that many shares that I got paid. I was like,
amazing.
Okay, thank you.
So like when you was modeling, you had your fans. Have any of your fans kind of crossed over into what you're doing now, or has it kind of just gone like
not many?
When everyone loved that Russell Brand was a dick, and now like when he's not a dick, a lot of them people who liked him when he was a dick don't like him.
Yeah,
is it kind of like that?
Yeah, I think my fans that liked me when I was a dick. No, it didn't cross over that much, and also like Instagram, if you had like 2,000 followers 5 years ago, you had quite a lot. It wasn't like it is now. Everyone's got like 100K, especially in Venice. Everyone I meet in the gym, they add me on Instagram. They've got like 1 million followers, and I'm like, whoa. So
I don't even know how to work that shit.
It just wasn't like that then, and people often say, oh well, you've got a lot of followers because you were a model and you got it from that, and I was like, I didn't actually. And a lot of them unfollowed me when I started posting so many pictures of vegan food. They were like, yeah, we want to see pictures of your ass, not what you're eating, not your burger.
Oh, amazing. What else was I going to ask you? So coming out of that modeling world, how do you not have any of those friends anymore? Did you just kind of remove yourself completely, or? Yeah,
quite a lot. Yeah, I really did, because a lot of my friends I made from modeling were just like, the debaucherous party people. And then also my circle of friends at home that I was friends with all through college and stuff. We've really drifted. I still love them. I'm still friends with them, but we don't really see each other. Well, I mean, I'm away most of the year as well. But my friends that I've made since are the ones that are living this similar life, and they just get me, and it's much easier. It's much easier to grow when your circle of influence is epic.
Yeah. They say if you kind of want to grow, surround yourself with geniuses, or surround yourself with people who are at the top of the game, like you are doing in
Gina's. Surround yourself with Gina's.
Geniuses. The Gina geniuses. Yeah, do that. No, I'm like really loving having a conversation with you. It's good to catch. You know what the real great thing about doing this is? I get to catch up with people, and actually some people, you just kind of pass and you never have time to meet up. This is like epic.
Hang out.
Even just meeting someone, even just like if I saw you at something in Manchester, we'd have like a little chat and a catch up, but it's not like I wouldn't be like, so tell me about this and tell me about this. I wouldn't have researched you that day. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it's been epic to see. I'm really enjoying seeing what people are up to and how people do such amazing things. And actually, kind of, I'm stepping back and going, Jesus, I know some incredible humans, you know what I mean? Like, that makes me feel good.
You're manifesting us.
Yeah.
And doing incredible things yourself.
Trying to. We'll see what happens. But hopefully this is incredible. And this is empowering people. Sorry, what do I have to do? What do I have to say? Teach me, coach me. Go on, coach me.
You're doing great things.
Yeah, I'm doing great things. I'm smashing.
Thank you. I'm receiving this.
Thank you. That's my problem. I find it difficult. But
repelling compliments, rejecting complements. Yeah. It doesn't. If you say, "Oh, Gina, you look really gorgeous today," and I go, "No, it's just because I've got makeup on." It doesn't feel good for either of you, does it?
No. Thanks. Thanks for the little bit of coaching. I was like, I hope I get a little bit of coaching on this one. Should be good at that.
Plenty more where that came from.
So just before we kind of start wrapping things up, moving into this age of the feminine, what would be your top tips for women to just empower themselves? Because I come from a family of disempowered women who've had failed marriages, who've been with men that have kind of mistreated them, and they've accepted that in a way. So what would be your best tips for women to step into their power?
Like we just mentioned, find your supportive crew. So being around women who respect themselves it's much easier to respect yourself. So if for anyone watching, if you don't have that, I have a free Facebook group called the Infinite Self-Love Society. Anyone can join, and there's awesome conversations going on in there. And also a lot of people meet up from there and become friends from there. So that's really, really good. So get a really awesome crew around you who are supportive, who aren't competitive, who genuinely want what's good for you. And when you do good, they cheerlead you. Yeah. That's a really big one. Secondly is create a really strong vision. So if you don't know about that, there's things on my website that can help you in the shape of a vision board workshop. Maybe you should take it.
I might. I think I will.
Yeah, I'll send it you. Yeah, if anyone wants to take that watches this, just reach out to me and I'll make sure you get it. So create a really strong vision of how you want to feel and how you want your life to look.
Get naked who's in the back there. Just make sure he doesn't get naked. I was like, we might be getting naked soon. No.
Don't like that. It's my housemate, Nick. Oh. Nick, you're in the back of the podcast getting naked. Wait, he's giving you a wave.
Yes, bro. I was like, we can't go any further. I need to interrupt her. Where were we?
Right, as we're on the serious bit as well, man.
I know. We'll cut that. I'm sorry, ladies. This is really important. For those of you who are listening, we're going to bring it back now. We've composed ourselves.
So back to the serious points.
Yes.
Okay, so circle of influence, vision, and then forgiving yourself. So I like to do a daily forgiveness practice most days. I don't like discipline, so I don't like to have to do it every day. But a daily forgiveness practice that I write the words, I am yet to forgive myself for, and then just write down anything that comes to mind, big or small, old or new, you know, simple things like, oh, I didn't ring my grandparents this week, or, you know, I was supposed to meet up with that person and I couldn't be bothered, or it wasn't aligned or whatever. And you can just start forgiving yourself for things, because what happens is we carry so much on our shoulders and it's very heavy, and we don't need to do that. So blame and love are two sides of the same coin, blame and self-love. So if you're blaming yourself, you're not loving yourself. There's no two ways about it. The next thing is, comparison. Do you ever compare yourself, Liam?
Yeah. With certain things, especially like financial shit. Yeah. Financial things.
Financial shit.
Yeah, which disgusts me, but I do.
Yeah. So comparison and joy cannot live in the same container ever, ever, ever. Comparison and self-love cannot live in the same container ever, ever, ever. I actually have that written like above my mirror. Comparison and joy cannot live in the same container, which means you get to choose. It's a choice. If you're comparing yourself, no, you are stealing your joy in every moment. So where people fall short here is they think that they're like giving themselves constructive criticism, and actually it doesn't work. Like, we can't hate ourselves good. We can't hate ourselves to love. So just make a conscious, like, start bringing awareness to that and make a conscious choice. Do I choose comparison, or do I choose joy? And when I learned that, it was about 3 or 4 years ago. And I just started to practice it. Comparison or joy, you get to choose. And I just don't compare myself anymore. It's just not a thing that I do. It's gone. Yeah. And it is as simple as that, just thinking it differently. Yeah.
Awesome.
Have I got any other little wisdom nuggets?
For the women.
Wisdom nuggets, any others?
You can even have a wisdom nugget for men if you want.
Wisdom nugget for men.
Stop being dicks.
Wisdom nugget for men is open the car doors for women. They like it.
Yeah. Is that still okay?
I know it's only only a small one.
Are we allowed to do that still?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into doing stuff like that. I'm getting confused with what you can and can't do these days. It seems to be like a cacophony of like trapdoors and things like, you know, some people, you have to call them they and shit. And I'm like, how would I know that?
Oh yeah, I had some of they's in my workshop in Birmingham. It's very interesting teaching a self-love workshop that I normally teach to women. This one was open to everyone. And yeah, it was really, really interesting to hold space for people who had, who knows which ones they had.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think,
very interesting.
Yeah. It's just confusing. Maybe they should like always have a badge so you know what day it is or kind of what they are today. I don't know. Did we get to the advice for men? Oh, it was open car doors. Open car doors. Get your woman some flowers, get her some chocolates, treat her like a goddess.
Yeah, whisper into her ear that you're a goddess, you're my queen.
That you're unbelievable. I think
I'm into it anyway.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest, like I'm in a men's tantra group, and one of the biggest kind of learning things that I have had in the last year is like this understanding, because women's emotions are chemically you kind of up and down quite a lot, and especially at that time of the month. And we as men, I was just brought up that women are just being a pain in the ass, like they're doing it specifically at you, like they're not doing it at anyone else, and they're being a bastard to you, and you're like, why are they doing that to me? Why are they doing it? No, they're not. Like, and this tantra thing is like, they're teaching us, they're not doing it to you. They've got these emotions, and we as men, a supportive masculine who are stepping into our masculine power, have to support them through that period and understand, like, the hormones are going up and down, and like men's hormones are quite level from being sort of 16 to kind of like 85. We're kind of like almost kind of, we have our ups and downs, but it's like, I guess it's like being in a band and I smoke weed and all the other mates of mine are taking LSD, pills, cocaine, do you know what I mean, every day, and I'm like, God, they're nuts. Do you know what I mean? It's just because we're on it's a different thing. And I thought that was a really lovely lesson that I wish I'd learned when I was at school, rather than thinking my girlfriends were just being bitches. Do you know what I mean? It was like to have that lesson as a young male would have been so valuable to me. Might not sink in at that age, to be fair, but
well, could have planted a seed though, couldn't they? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Oh, most of the stuff I teach, I think, why was I not being taught this at school? Would have saved a lot of time. But
hopefully we have kids that we can teach them these things, and they can be enriched and more prepared for the world than we were.
Exactly. That's what we'll do. I want to see your hair. Last time I saw you just had mega long hair, I think.
No.
Oh, digging it.
It's getting long again. I cut it off.
I did. Little undercutty at one side.
No,
at the other.
No, it's not. It's not undercut at all. It's like just.
Oh wow!
I just had it tied up a little bit.
Oh, good.
Get rid of me hat hair. Just the hair's covered it now. We're sweet. You can go now. You've seen the hair.
Have you got any other burning questions?
No, I think I'm good. I think I think we've covered it all. I think, bringing your journey into it is really good, from where the kind of challenges of leaving that kind of, well-paid, kind of feeding the ego world, kind of just dismissing it, letting it go, which kind of, from my opinion, takes a lot of bravery, because what else do you know at that time? You're just putting your trust in something else. So I think that's kind of the most empowering thing. And I'm hoping that we can get listeners on this podcast that aren't, completely over onto our side of way of thinking yet. And there's a lot of people still at that stage when they're struggling and they're looking for something else. And I'm hoping that these conversations that I'm having on this podcast can give people that inner power and that inner fire to go, actually, I'm going to carry on this path. Because we get ridiculed. We get ridiculed when we're starting to change, because the people that we're associating with at that time, they want us to stay the way we are because that's the way they know us. They don't want us to evolve and become better, because then actually, in some instances, that makes them look at themselves. You know what I mean? Like, piss so many people off in the pub because I stopped drinking. They get so angry with me, and I'm like, why are you?
You can still drink.
Yeah,
you can still drink
whatever you want. Like sometimes I'd actually just tell people I'm a recovering alcoholic, and they go, okay, I'll get you a Coke. And I'm like, oh God, that's easier. It just was easier in them situations. But where's my Oscar Wilde quote? I've got an Oscar Wilde quote on here somewhere. Let me just find it. I'll find it, but it's really good. Ridicule is the tribute paid to the genius by the mediocrities. Do you like that one?
Yeah, it is. Love it.
Oscar is kicking it. And that reminds me of, like Gaudi, when he was doing all these trippy buildings in Barcelona, and like he was outcried by the locals. They were kicking off. They were like, this guy's an idiot. Why the council, why the government? And imagine Barcelona now without Gaudi. Like,
I know, I love Barcelona.
You couldn't imagine the city without that influence, could you? And it's just to know that sometimes the stuff that we're doing that people don't agree with is the stuff that we should be doing. We should be following our heart.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yes to that. I'm down.
Yes to that. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was Gina Swire absolutely smashing out of the park. Look how lovely she looks. If you're checking it out on the YouTube, she's looking gorgeous. So next on the show, we've got Andrea Everingham, we've got Steph Magenta, yoga teacher, breath worker. We've got lots of other amazing guests coming up. We've got a guy who's a Kambo practitioner, so you're going to learn about Kambo, the frog medicine. We're going to talk about ayahuasca. We're going to talk about plant medicines. We've got all that coming up. Gina, honestly, from my heart, that was an amazing conversation. Thanks for sharing us, and thanks for letting us into your world and giving us an insight into your journey. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It was very, very fun, and very fun to catch up with you. Doing wonderful things in the world.
You too. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Love you lots. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, how amazing was that? How amazing is she? What a woman, what an absolute goddess, like some Atlantean glowing priestess. She's just absolutely smashing it out of the park in every way, and just radiantly glowing and helping people everywhere she turns. So yeah, just all the riches in the world should be bestowed upon that lady, because she is just amazing and just living in the light, and a very, very, very powerful person. So thank you so much, Gina, for being on my little podcast show. It was an absolute pleasure to have you, and a privilege to just have a conversation and learn a lot from you. And I'm going to get on that manifesting. There's some things that I need to manifest into my life. This podcast, for one, is going to be super successful, and everybody's going to laugh and enjoy and love the guests. So yes, we're just trying to get out that vibe, that good consciousness, that good vibration on this show, on the Dealer to Healer show. So again, this is your last chance. You got 5 days to go and buy Dealer to Healer, the book, which is on Amazon. You get it for free, and once you've got it for free, it doesn't just last for 5 days. You've got it forever. That's it. It's yours to keep on Kindle and ebook, wherever you want it. 7 years worth of my work has gone onto that. It's been intense. It's been like a really traumatic experience, a cathartic experience. It's been a struggle mentally, just the obstacles you have to overcome, like who am I to write a book, who's going to read my book, who's going to enjoy it, why can I write, I'm dyslexic, I've got a disability according to some people. Anyway, disability is it's an ability in a different way. You can't do something, but you're probably better at something else, aren't you? So yes, don't let anyone ever pigeonhole you into behaving or thinking in a certain way. You can be and become whatever you dream of, whatever your wildest dreams are. And that's something that Gina was really strong about and really good at pushing. You can manifest pretty much whatever you want. Just write it down and be committed to it and think about it every day, and it'll eventually come into your life. I'm a massive advocate of that. Everything that I've done has been a thought. Everything anyone's ever done has started off with a thought. So everything comes from thought, which is magical. So yes, get over to Amazon, buy my little book for free, only available for 5 days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, then it's gone. it's gone. You have to pay for it then. I'm sorry. But yes, the people that I know, the people that are aware of it, you are welcome to just come and click and take and spread. Just spread the love of the podcast. So yes, the podcast, Dealer to Healer podcast. Click on subscribe. Send us some comments. Send us some questions. If you know anyone and you think, hey, should be on that show, they should be on that show. My mum, my uncle, this person I know, my friend should be on the show. Just tell them to drop me a line or, big them up and I'll see what I can do. If they're powerful enough to come on my show, I'll have them on my show. Okay, guys, that is enough from me. Hope you all have a beautiful evening, a beautiful day, whatever you're up to, whether you're driving in your car, whether you're in a tractor, whether you're at a swimming pool with one earphone in and you're like a lifeguard and you're just trying to cheat to listen to me podcasting. You're not really supposed to be, because if you jumped in the water with a phone on and your earphone in, you'd probably get sacked, and or if you didn't get sacked, your phone would be knackered, and you don't want to do that. So wherever you're listening, do it safely. Have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. Peace and love, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Need you to bless my soul. Thank you so much for listening to the Dealer to Healer podcast. Please stay tuned for more episodes of transformation, of metamorphosis, of people becoming the most beautiful version of themselves and teaching you, the listeners, how to become the most beautiful version of yourself. So if you want all that information, all that knowledge, all these amazing guests that I've got on my show, please subscribe. There's a subscribe button somewhere on this screen, so please just link onto that. You'll get a notification straight away of any new episodes, and I promise you I've got epic guests coming up, so please stay tuned. If you want to know anything else about the Dealer to Healer movement, of what I've got going on, about my links to the book, links to my website, links to my music, everything, please go in the description below. It's just down there somewhere. You just hit description and everything, it'll tell you everything. So nice one. Have a beautiful day. Take it easy, and remember, please subscribe. That would be amazing. Peace.